The grand hall was buzzing with excitement, a sea of lavish gowns and sharp tuxedos. Tucked away in a quiet corner, almost invisible to the glamorous crowd, sat a man in a simple worn-out driver's uniform. He overheard whispers, "Who let the driver in?" and he should be waiting outside. Each word was a small sting, but he kept his face neutral, his gaze fixed on the beautiful bride at the head of the room. He just wanted to see her happy. That was all that mattered. Mark had raised Anna on his own. His wife had passed away when Anna was just a little girl, leaving him to juggle long hours behind the wheel with school runs and scraped knees. His old taxi was more than just a car. It was their livelihood, their home on wheels. He'd sacrificed everything for Anna. He sold his small house to afford her college tuition, moving into a tiny apartment above a noisy garage. He worked double shifts, his body aching with fatigue, just so she could have the books she needed, the clothes she wanted, the life he dreamed for her. He never complained. Seeing her smile was his only reward. When Anna met Liam, Mark was happy for her, but also worried. Liam's family was fabulously wealthy, a world away from their own. He saw how they looked at Anna, with a polite but cool appraisal. He feared they would never truly accept her, or him. On the day of the wedding, Anna had asked him to drive her. "Dad," she had said, her eyes shining, "I want you to be the one to take me to my new life. It's only right." He'd polished his old car until it shone, even though it paled in comparison to the luxury vehicles that filled the parking lot. He felt a surge of pride, but also a pang of sadness. Was he about to lose his little girl forever? As the reception continued, the time for speeches arrived. Liam's father stood up, his voice booming with confidence. He spoke of business mergers and family legacies, of welcoming Anna into their prestigious circle. He was eloquent and charming, and the crowd applauded enthusiastically. Then, Liam's mother spoke, her words dripping with practiced elegance, talking about social events and the importance of maintaining their family's reputation. Everyone nodded in agreement. Throughout their speeches, they never once mentioned Anna's family. It was as if she had sprung from thin air, a beautiful accessory with no past. Mark felt a familiar pang of invisibility. He shrank a little further into his corner, wishing he could disappear completely. He saw some of Liam's relatives pointing at him and snickering. The humiliation was a heavy cloak. He just wanted this to be over. He started to quietly get up, thinking he could slip out the back and wait in his car. No one would even notice he was gone. But then, another voice, clear and steady, cut through the murmurs of the crowd. It was Anna. She stood up, her face glowing, and took the microphone. "Thank you all for your beautiful words," she began, her eyes scanning the room. "I am so happy to be joining the Vanderbilt family. But there's one person here tonight who I need to thank above all others. Someone without whom I wouldn't be standing here today." A hush fell over the room. The guests looked around, confused. Who could she be talking about? Liam's family looked equally puzzled. Anna's gaze swept past the tables of elegantly dressed guests, past the powerful and the wealthy, until it landed on the man in the corner, the one in the driver's uniform, who was halfway out of his seat. Her voice trembled with emotion, but it was strong. "That person is my father." She pointed directly at Mark. "The man you all see as just a driver, the one you've been whispering about and ignoring all evening. He is my hero. He is my dad." Gasps rippled through the hall. All heads swiveled to stare at Mark, who froze in place, his heart pounding in his chest. The disdainful looks turned into expressions of shock and disbelief. The snickering relatives fell silent, their faces flushing with embarrassment. Anna continued, her eyes locked on her father. My dad is a driver. He has spent his entire life behind the wheel of a car so that I could walk a different path. Those calloused hands you might look down on. They worked day and night to pay for my education. The simple clothes he's wearing. It's because he spent every last penny on me, on my books, my dreams, my future. He sold his home for me. He sacrificed his own comfort, his own health, everything, just to see me smile. Tears were now streaming down her face, but she didn't wipe them away. He drove me here today, not just as a driver, but as the most important man in my life, delivering me to the next chapter. You see a poor driver. I see the richest man in the world, because his heart is full of a love that no amount of money can ever buy. Dad, she said, her voice breaking, please come up here. The room was utterly silent. You could have heard a pin drop. Mark, with tears blurring his own vision, slowly walked towards the stage. It felt like the longest walk of his life. Every eye was on him, but for the first time, he didn't feel invisible. He felt seen. He felt loved. As he reached the stage, Anna threw her arms around him, sobbing into his shoulder. I love you, Dad. I'm so proud of you. He held his daughter tight, the years of silent sacrifice, worry, and endless love pouring out in that one embrace. He whispered, I'm so proud of you, my little girl. Liam then stepped forward, took the microphone, and looked at his own parents, then at the guests. Anna has just taught us all a valuable lesson, he said, his voice firm. A lesson about what truly matters. It's not wealth or status. It's character, sacrifice, and love. He turned to Mark and bowed his head respectfully. Sir, I am honored to call you my father-in-law. The atmosphere in the room had completely transformed. The earlier arrogance and judgment had melted away, replaced by a profound sense of humility and respect. One by one, the guests rose to their feet, and the hall erupted in a thunderous applause that was not for the wealth or the status, but for the humble driver and his incredible daughter. It was an applause for a father's love, a love that turned out to be the most luxurious thing in that grand hall. That day, everyone learned that you should never judge a person by their uniform, because beneath it might beat the heart of a king. Thank you for watching. Remember to treat everyone with kindness and respect. You never know the silent battles they are fighting, or the incredible sacrifices they have made. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. See you next time.